everybody! So today I want to share with you guys a DIY shampoo bar recipe. This is not my original recipe. I will link down below where I found the recipe. I've never actually tried shampoo bars until this, and I actually really like them. They're really awesome and it lathers up so much. I think you guys will love it. So let's just get started. So when making soap, you need a digital scale, and I like to measure in grams because it's way more accurate. So first you want to grab some kind of container and you want to start measuring out your oils. So I began by measuring out 70.87 grams of olive oil, 63.78 grams of coconut oil, and then 49.61 grams of castor oil, 28.34 grams of shea butter, and 28.34 grams of avocado oil. So once you have all your oils measured out, you want to pour them in some kind of pot so you can heat them over the stove. And you want to heat this until everything has melted. So while everything's melting, you want to grab your scale again and some kind of container and measure out your distilled water. And you want to measure out 91.43 grams of distilled water. After you have your water measured out, set that to the side and grab another plastic container and measure out your lye. So when making bar soap, you want to make sure you're using sodium hydroxide. There's also something called potassium hydroxide, which is also lye, but that is used for liquid soap. So make sure you have sodium hydroxide. This is very important. So when measuring out the sodium hydroxide, you want to make sure you have protective gear like protective gloves, protective goggles, and maybe even a mask because it does release some fumes. And you want to measure out a total of 31.89 grams of your sodium hydroxide. So after you have it all measured out and you're nice and careful with it, you want to take the lye and the water outside preferably, or somewhere that's nice and ventilated. And you want to slowly pour the sodium hydroxide into the water. Never pour the water into the sodium hydroxide. Always pour the sodium hydroxide into water. This is so important. You can cause an explosion if you do it wrong. And you want to mix the sodium hydroxide in the water until it becomes clear. And this will take maybe less than about 10 minutes. And once it's clear, then you're done with this part. So let's go back over to the oils. So once everything has melted, I went ahead and poured the oils back into my plastic container. And you want to let this cool to about 110-120 degrees. And a good way to get this to cool down is you can put it in like an icy water bath to help cool the temperature. And you want to make sure that your water and sodium hydroxide mixture is also around the same temperature as your carrier oils. It doesn't have to be exact, but just pretty close. So once they both have reached a equal temperature, then you just want to slowly pour your water and sodium hydroxide mixture into your carrier oils. Then you want to grab your immersion blender, just give it a good couple mixes, and then turn on your immersion blender. And just give it a good couple pulses and let everything blend together and start to saponify. And you'll notice that this will quickly start to thicken up. And before it gets too thick, you want to go ahead and add in your essential oils. This is also the part when you can add in some coloring, but I don't want to add any coloring, but you can definitely do that if you'd like. So I began by adding in some lavender essential oil. And then I added in some peppermint essential oil. And lastly, some chamomile essential oil. Rosemary essential oil would also be an awesome addition, but I didn't really have too much of that, so I didn't add that in. And I ended up adding in a total of 4.3 grams of essential oil. So you just want to mix everything up one more time, and you can tell here that it started to thicken up a lot. So it is definitely time to pour into our molds. So grab whatever mold you would like and just pour your soap mixture into your molds. And I only made enough for about 3 bars, so if you want more than this, then double or triple the recipe. The original recipe made about 12 bars, so I ended up dividing this recipe into a quarter, so I made a fourth of the amount. So after you have all of the soap into your molds, you just want to pound it down onto a surface a little bit just to sort of get out any air bubbles. And then I just went around and flattened the tops of them to make it as neat as possible, and then I cleaned around the edges. So after you have them all nice and tight into your molds, you want to grab some plastic wrap and just place this around the top of it, just to make sure nothing gets in it and just make sure they settle nicely into the molds. And then you just want to let these sit for about 24 hours. You can also set them in the fridge to make them cool down quicker, but I would still give them about 24 hours before you take them out of the mold. So here they are ready to be taken out of the molds. So just remove the plastic wrap and pop them right out. And you want to let these cure for about 4 to 6 weeks. I waited about 4 weeks before I used mine and they were perfectly fine. And you want to wait this 4 to 6 weeks. That way the lye has been completely dissolved out of the soap and it won't burn your skin when you go to use them. So this is how the bar soap turned out. I think they look super cute. If you guys want, you can use whatever type of mold you would like. I just use these little sunflower molds and I think they look so cute. So how you use these is just basically like a bar of soap put on your hair. So you just want to wet down your hair and wet down the shampoo bar and then just start massaging it into your scalp and into your hair. And it just suds up so much. Like there's so much lather to these shampoo bars, so you definitely won't miss out on the lather, and it works just as great as a normal shampoo. My hair feels exactly the same. So yeah, I think they're pretty awesome and I'm really digging these, and these are great for people who are zero waste and don't want to waste plastic containers with buying shampoos and stuff. So definitely try it out if this is something you're interested in. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this DIY. Let me know if you're going to be trying it. Let me know if you've ever tried a shampoo bar and what you thought about it. Just let me know your opinions down below. Also, one more thing, if you guys didn't know, I do sell all natural skincare products over at my Etsy shop. I don't sell shampoo bars, but if this is something you would like to see, let me know. Maybe I'll start selling them. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!
I'm stuck in the motions. I've been consumed by the wrath of time like I'm frozen. I'm shattered in this life. It's still the path that I've chosen. Because I've had a vision, now I'm on a mission to find myself.